So we're currently recording. Before we start, do you give me permission to record and tape you for an interview with the MDC archives?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's begin. Would you please begin by telling me your name, age, ethnicity, and the city in which you live in?
My name is Yennifer Velazquez. I am 19 years old. I am Hispanic, and I live in Homestead, Florida.
Okay, perfect. And where were you born?
I was born down here in Miami, then moved to Homestead.
Moved to Homestead?
Yes.
All right, great. And where are you currently attending college?
Miami-Dade College at the Homestead campus.
All right. And what is your current major and eventual career goal?
My current major is biology, and I am aiming to become an anesthesiologist in the future.
Okay, great. All right, Yennifer, thank you for introducing yourself. I'd like to start off by talking about your journey to the Honors College. Tell me how you found out about the Honors College.
So I went to Master at Homestead, and my physical therapy professor, mentioned about the Homestead Honors College opening up. So I looked more into it, and that's when I decided that I would give it a try and apply for the application.
All right. And what factors influenced your decision to apply to the Honors College?
I'd have to say that it was the opportunity to attend college for my first 2 years and complete my prereqs without any cost. I was fighting my decision whether to go to Nova or MDC, but as soon as I realized that I would be paying quite a few amount in Nova, I just decided to attend MDC for the honors program. Plus, it has a lot of benefits within itself.
Okay, great. Canadian hockey player Wayne Gretzky once said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." What are your beliefs as to why you may agree or disagree with this statement?
I would have to say that I agree with it, because if you don't give it a try, then how would you know if you would be able to accomplish or succeed in such events that you take part in? We all have to take a risk at some point to lead us to greater success or benefit us as we continue.
Great. Can you describe the things you most appreciate about your professor so far?
In comparison to previous professors in high school, middle school, I'd have to say that there's more support, and although the task does seem a little bit handful at times, there is an appreciation of our work and actually letting us know what is wrong or what we did great, giving us positive feedbacks, even negative feedbacks. And I'd say that those are really helpful to be able to improve with our work in the future.
Recently, the students of the Honors College were invited to the induction ceremony. Tell me how the ceremony made you feel about being part of the Honors College.
I appreciate and really enjoyed being a part of the induction ceremony, because it lets me know that I am actually doing something good for myself and not leading to a road that I would have regretted at some point.
Now I'd like to start asking you some questions about your family. What were the good or bad role models you saw in your family, and what did they teach you?
Well, in the beginning, when I was a child, I'd have to say that at some point both my parents and my older brother were a bad role model, simply because they were in a way homophobics. So they didn't understand or accept the fact that different sexual orientations will love each other or care each other more than just friends in a way. So for example, I am a part of the LGBT community. They have not supported me when I was a child, saying that it was just a child's love, that I'll eventually grow out of it. But as they saw that I was growing older and my perspective or beliefs have not changed, they started to support it. Slowly, it's a slow progress, but it's an improvement. So I'd say now all of them three are good role models. Just my older brother, I'd have to say it's a greater role model for me, because he's going through a lot of things, events, and he's still getting by. So I'm looking up to him day to day, hoping that one day I am able to like make him happy for my improvements in life.
Thank you. So, I'd like to continue by asking you some questions about the pandemic. If you're comfortable, can you tell me how the pandemic personally affected you and or your family?
The pandemic affected me because my mental state wasn't in the best conditions. Due to the pandemic, we had to stay indoors, so there wasn't really much of like social interactions with others since there was like social distancing, wearing masks and everything. So because of that, staying home a lot like really brought me down because I felt trapped within a box, and when that happens, like my mind kind of go loose.
So, as you know, the pandemic was a mix of many events, not just the health-related ones. Two of the largest events were the Black Lives Matter movement and the January 6th insurrection. Many of us witnessed these events taking place from our own homes. How did the mix of a global pandemic, political uprising, and social movements make you feel towards your own future and the future of this country?
I feel like some of the actions that are done has been done in the past, and it just doesn't seem to be changing. I don't think that there will ever be a change. There may be progress. As for the future, there will always be at least one person who is like having this negative thought against other people, which would eventually form something. So would I ever say the future would be safe? No. So for my future, I'd have to say that it's like a battle between protection within myself to the world.
Okay, thank you for that. People are multifaceted beings, so I'd like to ask you two questions regarding both your personal and professional self. Tell me about your personal outlooks on life and what factors influence your opinion.
Personal outlooks, I'd have to say that everyone should live happy with their own decisions. Don't let anyone judge you for like being yourself. And if they do, simply ignore it, well, or at least try to surpass it and don't let it bother you. There will always be negative thoughts surrounding us. We just have to learn how to fight against it. So I'd have to say that be happy with who you are in the end.
Great. Can you describe your personal outlooks on careers and future job holdings?
Well, as I mentioned, I do wish to become an anesthesiologist one day. So I hope to be able to help people in the future as much as possible. And I also do hope seeing myself being a part of UNICEF, as it is something that I have been interested in as a child, and learning more about it really intrigues me, like encouraged me to do better with life and to not take everything for granted, because I have things that many others may not. So I am appreciative for my family and my parents. So I wish to do the same thing for others.
Great. To finish, I'd like to ask you a question regarding the future. What is a message you'd like to share with yourself 5 years from now?
I'd have to say that don't give up. There are going to be a lot of circumstances where you might feel like you're failing, but you'll grow up, you'll learn how to fight through it. You never lose a battle within yourself. And you know that if anything, there's people around you who would always support you and encourage you to do better.
Very interesting. Thank you for taking your time to share your story.